Hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm a therapist.
And I'm Tyler, and I'm a patient.
We're going to talk about trauma, healing, and everything. Everything is traumatic.
Jeff, what's your middle name?
Alan, A-L-A-N.
Allen. Jeff Allen. Okay.
I was named after a pedophile uncle of mine who died in the act of pedophilia.
Damn.
I'm just making that up.
You just had a heart attack while in there.
Yes, he got it going. He became a pedophile, and immediately after penetration, he died.
That's
Which
terrible.
sort of really leads into the topic we're talking about, which is nature.
Nature. That's right.
Nature, just stuff happens.
Stuff happens in nature. Nature doesn't have a moral compass.
Nature does not have a moral compass. I don't have an uncle. I don't even know who I was named after. But nature giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah. I'm a little hung up about you lying about the uncle story, but we can move past it. We can just dive into nature, and
I will say that 90% of the things I say on here are true.
90.
But it's up to the audience to figure out the 10% that are not.
You told me that you went to a conference. Was it last
It was
week?
a conference that was held at State Park in Middle Tennessee, and one of the keynotes of the first day was talking about how nature is the fix for what ails us. And there's been quite a bit of research done that says when you step outside, your heart rate, your blood pressure immediately goes down. And I started spending some time outside and just listening to the birds, and it's immediate, going from inside to outside, and the relaxation it's immediate.
Mm-hmm.
We just spend so much time staring at screens inside, not seeing nature, all these things. And, it's just out there, and we don't, so it's the fix for all things.
I'm definitely guilty about not going outside as much as I'd like to. I spend a lot of time staring at screens.
We've sort of been conditioned to do that, though.
Mm.
I mean, that's what all our work is. That's what all our, we have screens everywhere. We use them to unwind, and we detach from the real world. It's hot outside, though. So, it's cool out inside. It's air conditioned, and there's bugs and stuff outside, too.
Mm. But, I like going outside. Like, where I live at, it's an apartment complex, so I go out to, the hallway. But I need to actually, step out, walk outside, and, feel the grass on my toes, and, get good in between there, and, feel the vibrations of the fucking earth, and
that's the whole thing. So this is going to sound woo-woo.
Woo-woo. Wait. Woo-woo?
Is that not a term that the young people use anymore?
What? It apparently is, but I'm just curious on what. I've never heard woo-woo.
Woo-woo is sort of like ghost story, tarot cards,
what the fuck?
Ouija board, woo-woo.
Woo-woo. Why am I just now finding out about this term?
It's a good term. I think it's an old man term. I think we say it a lot. Woo-woo.
Okay, I can.
Give me my woo-woo.
Oh, you're just talking all that woo-woo.
Woo-woo, kids, and their woo-woo music.
I guess I interpret it as a different thing, like a rap thing, like a woo-woo. Like an ad lib in a rap song. I don't know.
We could have a band called the Woo Woo Tang Clan.
The Woo Woo Tang Clan.
Woo Woo.
Woo Woo Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, the world is a total dumpster fire. I mean, it's just locally, personally. I mean, everything is just going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I went outside. This was over Wednesday and Thursday. So I went outside Thursday morning, and this is in the middle of the park. And so it's in Central Time, so my clock was all messed up. So I got up early, and I went out there and I just stared at this tree. And I thought, in 10,000 years, this tree may or may not be here, but the spot that it's on will be. And it's like, it made me feel relaxed. It's just like, it doesn't matter what I do. This tree or this land is going to be here. No matter how badly we fuck up the planet, it'll heal itself once we're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, okay, it's going to be okay. And so it was just like almost just like finding my little place in the world and being like, I'm just here a moment and I do the best I can, but I'm not responsible for this earth or all these other things. I just try to just do the best I can to make it through. So it was very soothing to me. I guess I don't know if that's woo woo or not, but
no, I think it made you feel like very present in that moment.
And small in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I think we're always thinking our individual, everything is so important in the moment. Like, I've got this to do, I've got this to do. If I don't get this done, everything falls apart. But when you think about it, we're here like a blink of an eye. I mean, the world's been here for 10 billion years, 8 billion years, something like that. Humans have been around for 10,000 years, and I've been here for 54. I'll be dead for sure in 54 more years. And then it's just like a snap. And so like we get so caught up in all these things that don't matter and miss the point of just trying to enjoy. And I mean, there's serious problems we have and things we need to work on and make better, but we just lose track of the moment, that we're just here such a short time and we have very little power.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to what 150,000 plus.
They think that people of like we have been around.
Okay, that's how long we've been around. Apparently, is
150,000 years.
150,000 plus years.
Oh, okay.
They keep pushing it.
So we've been around longer than I thought.
They keep pushing it back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still we're just a drop. And I mean, I feel like we're talking about therapy a lot in here and self-worth. That's not to take away our importance and the importance of humans and the idea that we should better ourselves and be kind and help each other. But I think it also takes away some of the pressure that we have to fix everything, that our life has to be this shining light. It's just like, there's going to be a lot more people going through this process, and the earth is going to take care of itself. Whatever it needs to do, it'll just keep moving and it'll heal.
I don't think it adds pressure like that. It doesn't make me feel insignificant that we're here in the blink of an eye and that like my actions ultimately don't matter in the grand scheme of things. I think it actually like just makes me feel better that I have the choice to make that happiness myself with something.
Yeah.
Rather than just like I have to cure cancer. I don't know. That's a really bad example. We should cure cancer, but the point being,
but you don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff is just nature, because we think about these diseases we've sort of obliterated, like polio and things like that smallpox. But then things come and replace it. We get HIV/AIDS, we get different kind of cancers, we get COVID. And so it's like, even as we are curing things, new things are going to come up. And I almost wonder if that's nature's way of sort of cleaning house. It's like, we got way too many people. Let's clean house a little bit. Let's figure out, because they are taking up all our resources. So we're going to survive by creating a virus that obliterates 1 million, 10 million people, whatever. And then we won't be quite as taxed as a nature system.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a very interesting way to look at diseases. I mean, maybe it is like the earth healing itself in a way, at least nature. Because I mean, I think we're just is this gonna sound like hoo ha hoo woo
Who he
hoo woo is traumatic.
hooey bunch of hooey. That's another one. It's woo woo and hooey.
Woo woo.
You and that's a bunch of hooey.
Oh, that's a bunch of woo hoo hooey. I just think, okay, this might sound, I mean, I think this is just going to sound more hippie than anything, but I think we've just really disrespected the earth in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, we have. There's this is something that is, I'll tie it in. So I've been thinking about one of the problems we've talked about religion in here, and we have different views on faith. But I think one of the biggest problems with at least the Christian movement that is focused on eternity is that they are saying that's what should be working towards. That's the main piece. Instead of, we have something right here we need to work on. We have poverty, we have homelessness, we have a world that's collapsing. But if you're totally focused on eternity that says, once we get there, everything's going to be okay. So why do we need to take care of this planet? Because there's another better planet we're going to go to. And so to me, it's like it's the perfect, we don't have any responsibility because it's going to all be fixed in the end. So we don't have to focus on that. We just need to make sure people know about eternity and get to go there. That's what we need the focus to be. But to me, it's a total, it's just totally dismissing the here and now and saying that we have things to work on. And that's why we have all these problems because people are so focused on something that we don't even know if it's going to happen. And we could take care of the earth right here, but we don't, because we got to get there. We got to make sure everybody goes to heaven, right?
Yep. I've never even considered it that way, Jeff. And as an atheist, that fills me up with joy. That makes me giddy. Yes. Good.
As an atheist or as an agnostic, it frees you up to focus on the here and now, because there isn't anything else. And so whatever we do, this is it. This is our shot. If you think there's more, I don't want to, I'm not sure if there's something else or not, but I don't think we focus on that as the end all be all. If there's something, that's great, but that doesn't excuse us of the responsibility for the people around us and the things around us. And I think it's used as this huge, just sort of, we don't have to really take care of that.
Yeah. It's kind of always, oh, well, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
That's right. And then we're not focusing on nature. We're saying, well, God is in control.
Yeah, God will just make more resources.
Yeah, God will fix this.
What are you guys talking about?
But I mean, if you think God is pushing all these buttons and making people drop dead and causing floods and all this stuff, it's like he's an angry child or a psychopath or something. Like, I'm going to strike you down, Tyler Broadway, for touching yourself in the basement.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he knows about that, Tyler.
Damn.
Yep. We all know about it now.
Yeah. Confirmed.
But if it's just nature, if nature just does things, then to me, that explains evil and bad. Like, if God is in control and there's an earthquake and it kills 1 million people, then God made that happen. To me, it's just like, no, the earth shifted. It's just stuff happening. Stuff's falling apart.
Stuff falling apart.
We messed it up.
Coming together.
Yeah.
Jinx, Jeff. We both said yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing about good and bad. It's not really a black and white thing like that. It's very circumstantial. That's what you mentioned about Freud. Like, if you grew up in a cannibal tribe, then you're going to think that eating people is totally fine because That's the environment you grew up in.
Yeah, it's like the Aztecs, right? They did human sacrifice, but it was part of their culture.
So were they inherently bad because they did that?
Well, I mean, in a Judeo-Christian modern ethic, we believe that killing or sacrificing people is wrong, and I do believe that it's wrong to kill, sacrifice somebody to a god.
Yeah,
but I think that's one of the problems we see in our country right now is that there is a group of people that feel like not only Judeo-Christian, but a very specific Christian rule should be the law instead of saying, oh, we should be able to practice our beliefs and tell people what we believe, but they want that to be the law. They want that to be the actual laws. Like, we shouldn't allow this to happen because the Bible says it's wrong. And that's just like crazy because it's just it's like we're going through some kind of whatever they call it, theocracy or idiocracy.
Yeah, we, especially here in Tennessee, I know we made it. I think there was a separation at one point. I'm probably wrong, so maybe I shouldn't even comment on this, but we shouldn't let religious figures be elected officials.
Yeah. I mean, or if they can keep it separate, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
It's two separate things. Your religious faith and your, I mean, to me, religious faith is more about how you live your life and what you do and what you believe and what motivates you. But what it's becoming is this: not only do I do it, you have to do it too. And if you don't do it, you're wrong. And then we need to make a law out of it.
Yep.
So it becomes these we're going to ban these books. You can't dress a certain way. You can't do this.
And that's where I have a problem with it.
That's where it becomes a problem. Yes.
And if we were all in nature and didn't have this social construct, we wouldn't have religion because we wouldn't be thinking about a better life, a better afterlife. We'd be thinking about surviving, picking berries, and painting.
But you know what? Since the very beginning, we've always had hierarchy in culture, and there's been people with more power that have oppressed people with less power.
Yeah, but I mean, we could work it out, right? We could work out like a tribe mentality where, like, I don't know, instead of trying to buy and sell shit, we just get together as a tribe, right? Pick out who the hunters are, who are the gatherers. Yeah. We all raise the kids. We all fuck each other. I know it kind of sounds like I know what you're gonna say. It kind of sounds like a cult. I know.
I think that's how it all started, right? There had to be an incredible amount of coitus going on to populate the earth if we just believed there was two. And then they wiped them out a couple of times. So, I mean, it's like they've got we got 10,000 people. We don't have to have sex with our brothers. And then it's like, zoop, everybody's dead again. And it's just like Noah and his family going at it again.
Yeah.
So
there
was a lot of drinking and incest in the Old Testament. That's all I know.
Yes.
And today they frown upon it.
I mean, do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure incest it's not supposed to happen.
I mean, there are plenty of states where you can legally marry your cousin. So, I don't know. It's frowned upon that much. And I mean, they got child marriages, arranged child marriages here in America too.
They do have child marriages. I think if we just allowed people to not wear pants, we might have a better world. Just wear like a pair of underpants made of briars and like twigs and stuff, berries.
What? I mean, we would smooth them out. I think if anything, we'd do like the loincloth or we'd do like the fig leaf,
The loincloth is a classic look. It's a classic. Look. Yeah.
So's the fig leaf.
It seems like it would be comfortable, right?
Yeah. Oh, the breeze. Think of the breeze.
Do you think that there was a brief with the loincloth?
Do you think there's a brief with the loincloth?
Is it like something you pull on, or is it more of just I'm just covering with a little flap kind of thing?
Ooh, I guess that's like
so if you spin, you're going to see everything.
That's a preference thing, really. Like, I mean, logically, yeah, if it's a makeshift one, you just tie it across the waist real quick. If it's like a permanent one, make it like into like a G string, so you can kind of feel it up in the behind region.
It's sort of like the decision to wear boxers or briefs, right?
Do you got something, Ken? I feel like you itching the.
Well, loincloth specifically is so people can sit down without getting stuff on their genitals.
Okay.
You know, like you need like a cloth to sit down. Like if you're sitting down in the dirt and you're sitting down, like if you don't have like chairs like we do and clothes, and
right?
Just in
so
the jungle,
keep dirt off your junk.
Yeah, when you sit down, essentially.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is like it's
like more utilitarian than you think.
Pocket.
It almost has nothing to do with covering yourself. It just so happens that like
right. Okay.
It happens to do that.
Right.
Gotcha.
So the loincloth's going all around. Right. It's going from the front to the back.
It's just a flap in the front and a flap in the back.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a long
string.
I thought it was like a long
string up top with a flap and a flap.
You can make a G-string one.
One of the when we look at the greatest things to happen in the 20th century, some would say like, space travel or like computers. I say the boxer brief.
Boxer briefs?
Boxer brief is it changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's in between the boxer and the brief. I don't like boxers. The little tight white briefs were too tight. The boxer brief, it gives the boys room.
It does.
It's a really, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, boxer
and
briefs.
I've just known about it maybe 20. Well, I don't know when the boxer brief came out, but whoever did that deserves a Pulitzer Prize.
I know, yeah, because boxers are tricky because they got those little pee hole slit in front of them.
There's no support.
You're
just sort of slinging around.
You are free falling it.
Yeah.
And
so it shows what you can do in America.
And then whitey tighties
if you have a dream.
Are just unappealing to everyone.
That's just terrible.
I don't know anyone who saw someone in white underwear and was like, yeah, that is.
They're just not comfortable. I guess maybe as a kid they're okay, but
yeah, sure.
I love the boxer brief.
Yeah, boxer briefs are where it's at.
I wonder if we could get Hanes to try to maybe sponsor us, since we're really or Fruit of the Loom or any of the underwear cabals. Yeah.
Do a little quick sponsorship shout out. If you're feeling traumatized, get yourself a pair of boxer briefs because they're going to keep the boys from hitting your thighs, and that's always a good sign.
It's amazing how they harvest the briefs from the jungles. When they grow on trees and they just harvest them.
They harvest
them.
Crack
open that thing and wipe off some of the goop and just dry them and then send them to the stores.
That's right, Jeff. That is the patent way that Fruit of the Loom makes its boxer briefs, hanging straight from those trees, de-gooping them, and yeah.
And very few animals are killed.
Legally, they had to say that, but if you looked at how much animals actually got killed during the making of them, it's almost weird that they have to mention it,
Yeah, I think it's less than 5%.
Right.
Of all animals that are nearby are slaughtered to get to the briefs.
Right. Well, they should get out of the way. That's all I'm saying. But if you use promo code Everything is Traumatic, you can get 20% off your next purchase of Fruit of the Loom briefs. Tell any store you go to, reference this episode, reference this podcast. They'll have to give you the deal. That's right. We're giving you a free deal regardless.
Yeah. We've been talking about a contest. And we should be slowly getting together a prize pack, and we will include boxer briefs. And I don't know what the equivalent for a female is, so we'll figure out what women feel like is Maybe yoga pants I know are super comfortable, or some kind of like boy shorts. Maybe that's the thing. But maybe we could just put together a little goodie bag of some of the items we've discussed on here.
Yeah, like Diet Hope.
For the price pack. Diet Hope, yes.
We have pushed a lot of products. Ken looks perplexed at what Diet Hope is. Wow, I didn't realize we were such corporate whores, Jeff. We need to get back to nature.
We do, but we also got to eat.
Yeah,
we have to be able to support ourselves.
And when I get hungry and get on the go, I always like to stop at McDonald's. That's right. This podcast is brought to you by McDonald's. So
I get a ice cold Diet Hope and a big hack, and I just drink them down. It's refreshing.
It's good.
And also, no animals are harmed making the meat products that they serve at McDonald's.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but it's not meat.
It's less than 3%.
Yeah, at least less than 3%.
So they didn't have to legally name it.
Yes, exactly.
But I have been getting this strong urge to go back to nature, honestly. I don't know if it's like this instinct, this like internal feeling, but it's like this house, this society. I feel like I want to go back to the woods. I don't think I want to live in a city. I don't want to have a job. I want to gather and forage and hunt.
I had a student who I just taught was talking crazy talk and this was maybe 6-7 years ago. And so this is an 18-year-old kid, and he was talking to me. He goes, we don't know how to do anything anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, if you put most of us out in the woods, we don't know how to make a shelter. We don't know how to hunt. We don't know how to dig a hole. We don't know how to do anything because we don't have to do those things. And now when I think about it, he's right. We do not know how to survive outside of a air-conditioned home. We just don't have that skill set anymore.
Damn, yeah. I know I definitely didn't grow up with that. But I have a different reason besides like not being taught. But there's no one there to teach. But he has a good point. And I thought for some reason this was going to be like you explaining like that movie Into the Wild.
Oh, that's a great movie.
But I had the student, he decided to do it. I'm like, wait, Jeff, is this just Into the Wild?
That movie is so amazing in so many different ways. And I've seen it like 7 or 8 times. It's such a sad story, but also such an amazing story. But he didn't respect nature, really.
No.
He thought he could just go and do it. He took like a pound of rice and stuff and was going to he didn't really understand what he was doing. And so he didn't have the respect for what he was going to have to do. So have you read the book?
No, I haven't read the book. I only watched the movie.
So when he's trying to go home, he's going to hike out of there, and he comes to the river, and it's flooded, and he tries to get in, and he almost gets swept away, and then he decides to go back. There was a bridge. If he had walked 1 mile down the river, there was a bridge to get across. That's true. That is true. And I think it shows what was wrong with him. He was so rigid in his thinking process. Part of that was this goodness of him and the way he was able to look at the world. But it was also like, I'm not even going to think about trying to get around this. It's in the way, and I can't do it. It's too big.
It's too big.
And so I feel like it's a tragedy. But it's also beautiful in the sense of the life he lived in those months is more life than probably any of us will ever live.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm thinking here, like I know I'm saying I want to go back to the woods. I know I probably wouldn't make it a week because I don't have any survival skills. I'd be handy with a group so I can provide entertainment.
You could be the gestor.
Yeah. I would be like the jester or the
You know,
gesture.
I don't love the outdoors and I don't like getting sweaty and things like that, but you know, there's something nice about just putting your phone down, going outside, listening to the birds, closing your eyes, feeling the wind, feeling the heat. Just, it is very grounding. And it reminds us that we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us that the social media and all the stuff that distracts us is not what we came from.
No.
It's not what drives us. We have this need to sort of, I think, connect with the real world. And I spend many hours trying to get away from the real world,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we have to connect to it in some way to keep sort of sane.
Hey, I'm here. Right?
You know, a lot of people are making fun of this, but the Surgeon General came out and said basically people are lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, he said basically we have an epidemic of loneliness. And some people are like, oh, that's the new epidemic. That's the new blah, blah, blah. But it's certainly true. People are isolated. People are isolated in the middle of a city full of millions of
Mm-hmm.
people because they have no connections. And people are lonely because of the way our world is set up, but also because of what happened with COVID and such isolation. Um, and we do have just so much disconnection in the world that I feel like that is one of the big problems we're facing is how do we communicate? How do we connect in a meaningful way as opposed to a surface way?
I think it's going to take a lot of setting aside the ego, setting aside your pride, and embracing the openness and embracing the hurt and what good can come from having more than a surface level connection, you know? I think a lot of people
Yeah.
are afraid of that.
Being
Yeah, a
vulnerable.
lot of people do not want to be vulnerable. And I get it. It's hard.
Yeah. It's scary because it gets you to the point where you could really be hurt. But it's the only way to form a relationship.
Like
whether it be a romantic or a friendship or whatever. I mean, we've been sort of vulnerable, I think, at times.
Oh
certain
yeah.
topics we've talked about in these podcasts, and it's like to me when I'm doing this, we're just talking.
Yeah.
And then when I listen to it like off of the Spotify or Apple or whatever, it feels like we're just like, I'm talking about that stuff and anybody can listen to this. So it's like a little freaky, but I trust you. I mean, you're a kind of person that I feel like you have a kind heart. You are a person that listens. You have we have common experiences that we've gone through. And so it feels like there's not a risk here. You're not going to use this information against me unless we get famous, and then I probably
no,
will.
Jeff. I think the thing with me is that I'm here opening up with you. Like, I think my biggest
it's a relationship that we're forming, a deeper relationship.
I think like especially with like communication, one of my biggest fears is like being misunderstood. Because it's one of those things I think has been reoccurring throughout my life, and I think I overcorrect to I overcorrect making sure that my point is across, and I think I do it to the point where I alienate people, and I just feel shitty about it. So, and that's another thing, because when someone opens up too much, I think it's hard for people to fucking take it in and want to listen and want to help.
Yeah, that sometimes people. Yeah.
So it's a very fine line on how do we connect. We got to set a lot of things aside. We got to be willing to be uncomfortable and hear someone's pain, and not just hear it, but feel it, empathize with it.
Yeah. You know, and that goes back, I think, to sort of the purpose when we started talking about doing this podcast. The whole idea of therapy is about a relationship. You have a relationship, and so there are certain rules for the relationship in therapy where you do have some boundaries, but it's still a relationship. And if it's done right, both people should care about each other in an appropriate way, and they feel for each other, they empathize, they are connected. And so that's a friendship or a relationship too, but I mean, it is about relationship.
I think we do have, I mean, I don't know if I think it is a therapeutic relationship, but it's different because we're not like just talking about, what's,
Yeah, I think it goes both
yeah.
ways too. I mean, in a true therapeutic relationship, it's more about the
Hmm.
client. In this relationship, it's therapeutic, but we're both listening to each other, and we're both going back and forth talking about each other's problems and
Yeah.
listening. And so it's a little more both
Yeah, a little
ways.
more symbiotic, if you will.
Less
And
woo
less
woo.
woo woo. God damn it. Yeah, I wish we can. I really hope we can get to a point where we can be that vulnerable. I mean, I want to try and set the precedents for it, but like, I'm one person. I'm not going to lead the charge. I can try it and be as open as I can, but I mean, there's always going to be something that I hide. But I just truly try to strive for that.
I think one of the things I like most about you is how easy you are to talk to. You can have a serious conversation, you can have a fun conversation, you can mix both, but you're just very approachable and you're easy to talk to. And I found that from day one where we talked, and it was just like, this is a guy that I can talk to. He understands the kind of person I am. And so we come, I think we come from different backgrounds. Our childhoods were probably different. You're younger than I am, but I think we really connect in a way, which is just because we listen to each other and we're easy to talk to.
I agree. I mean, I try to be. I mean, it's sometimes I do get antisocial, but generally I
Sure.
do want to like talk. I want to talk to people, and I want to genuinely care,
Yeah.
even though
And it's a lot of
it's
work.
hard to do. Sometimes you can't get. Sometimes you just don't give a shit.
Yeah. And that's when you have to go out in
That's
nature, take off your shoes,
pick the
walk
berries.
around in
Yeah,
the
walk around
yard.
in the.
Yes. So make sure you don't eat the wrong berries like the kid did in the Into the Wild movie, which made him have basically
See,
diarrhea till he
another
died.
thing I was thinking
So,
was that documentary Grizzly Man.
oh wow, what a movie.
Just his outtakes where he's like, he was so disrespectful to nature, just like, fuck you, nature, I beat you, I'm fucking beat you. And then he gets mauled by a bear.
So so that movie is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen Grizzly Man, it's a documentary about a man that goes out with grizzly bears every year and it ends up getting eaten by a bear. And the craziest part is that the audio of the bear mauling him and his, I think his girlfriend was killed also, um, is present. And there's a scene in this movie, and so the movie's great. You should see it. It's directed by Werner Herzog, but there's a scene in the movie which shows that Herzog is one of the best manipulators of the documentary or filmmaking of all time. He's listening to the audio of the bear mauling. He's got headphones on, so we don't hear it. And he's looking at, I don't know who it was a family member or whatever. He's like, you must never listen to this. You must never, ever listen to this. So you could have played the audio and it probably would have been pretty horrific. But the way he handles that, he makes it even more horrific because you can't hear it. And he just is saying, you must promise me never to
God,
listen to
especially,
this. It's brilliant.
especially with his voice, you must never hear
Yeah.
this.
You must never listen to this. I can't
You
do his
must
voice. I sort of did a
never
French.
hear the sounds of this ever again. No, that was terrible too, but I think we're reaching its logical conclusion here, Jeff. Do you have
Yeah.
any final thoughts?
So everybody that's listening to this, if you can, after you listen to this and you are near any kind of yard or nature, go outside, leave your phone inside, try to do at least 5 minutes of either walking around in a yard, walking around in a park. If you don't have nature, find a tree, something. If you can find something, put your phone down and just go if you can take your shoes off and let grass or ground touch your feet and just try to focus on the moment. That would be like, give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of share that final thought. Just try to take care of yourself. Get out there. Watch where you step before you put your feet in the grass. I want to say, maybe you don't want to step on an ant pile. You don't want to get your feet bitten by ants. You don't want to step on any glass. You don't. For the overthinkers listening,
good point.
Watch your surroundings when you get out there. Just look around. Be aware.
Yes.
You could get taken by a hawk as well. I don't know, but it could happen.
Yes. Yes. There's the hawks are getting larger.
And don't eat those weird berries because you're gonna shit yourself dead like the dude from Into the Wild.
Yes. Be very careful about the berries you're eating.
And don't flip off nature. I think just generally be respectful to nature, and nature will show its cold indifference to you. But the important thing is at least you tried to be respectful towards nature.
Yes.
For all of us here at Everything is Traumatic, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Jeff.
And as always, take care of yourself and play us out.